American dream is bigger than it's supposed to be. Listen up. This is for the all-nighters and the way too early bus riders. The ones paying homage to the past by hustling like there's no tomorrow. Los hijos de inmigrantes who become the bridge between la luna y el sol. This is where you shatter stereotypes and glass ceilings, where you honor abuelita's name and your parents' struggle. How their hearts smile at the sight of your success. You, the link that breaks generational chains. You, their heirloom, their legacy in motion. Confirmation que todo tendrá prosperidad. A promise to be more, hacer more, vivir more. So when they ask you where you're going, tell them in a voice that echoes back across borders and oceans that you will go as far as you choose to.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I am so glad you can make it, parents. I am so glad because this is the McDonald's Education Hacer Tour workshops. I might have put it out in order, but this is about us, parents. This is about us. So thank you for being here. Thank you. I know you had to cook, clean, carpool, work, do all kind of stuff, but you're here. And we thank you. Well, who am I? My name is Natasha Carrizosa. I am your MC for the evening. I'm your host. You just call me Natty. Okay? I was trying to be nosy and look in the chat. I want to shout out to Marlene Flores from Edinburgh, Texas. Thank you for being here. Why are we here? We are here for our students, our young people, our children. The goal for tonight is to encourage you to play a more active role or show up for your kids on their journey to higher education. Let me not say kids, it's young adults. Provide financial aid information. We're going to share some resources. And of course, everything that has to do with the Hacer scholarship. So take notes, get your phone out. We want you to engage with us in the chat. There's going to be a Q&A session with me and a special guest speaker. So thank you for hanging out. Now, also, this is important. Your time here is valuable. I want you to do something for me. No purchase necessary. All you got to do is hit this QR code that's on your phone or your computer, that one that's red and black and white that says I said, hit the QR code. Or text I said more to 866-213-5881. And as I said, no purchase necessary. Natty, why am I doing this? Well, tonight, at the end of this workshop, especially for parents, there are going to be $25 McDonald's Arch cards given away. You can buy yourself lunch, dinner. 25 of them will be given away at the end of the session. And one lucky grand prize winner will win a $500 gift card. You can buy school supplies, backpacks, crayons, whatever you want for your students. And that lucky $500, you won't get this one, honey. The $500 winner will get their own exclusive McDonald's merch bag. So I want you to win. Hit the QR code, put your phone up there. It's going to send you to a link, or text I said more to 866-213-5881. Engage with us in the chat. If you got social media, we're here to I said more. I said means to do more. That's why we're here. So if you got social media, you hear something, you like something, snap it up, engage with us in the chat, post on social media, hashtag I said more. And on behalf of McDonald's and CoolSpeak, thank you for being here, parents. Your sacrifices are not forgotten. Now, somebody who I can't forget that I'm going to introduce you to. Let me get on with the show. Let me not waste your time. This person is a creative force. When I think of I said more, this person comes to mind. I am so glad you logged in tonight. If you hear something that you like, put it in the chat. Engage with us in the chat. Give me some snaps. I can see you. Give me some snaps. And y'all give it up for the CEO of CoolSpeak, Carlos Ojeda Jr.
Thank you, Natty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Parents, welcome. Like Natty said, this is your time. We did a session today for students. You know what? This isn't for them. We've been doing sessions for educators, counselors, and teachers. This isn't for them either. This is for you. All of you. Put the kids to bed, close the door. It's all about adult time, parents, all right? And honoring you. Now, I want to honor my parents because honestly, I'm surprised they didn't kill me because I was so much of a knucklehead. When I was a kid, I drove my parents crazy because I got to be honest, I never learned the meaning of the word no. Cuando me dicen que no, yo digo que sí. When they tell me no, I said yes. My mom's like, no toque eso, don't touch that. You know what I did? Lo toqué. I tested. No vaya para allá. Where do you think I went? I was para allá. No te pongas en la boca. Where'd it go? In the boca. No, 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 no en la calle, no en la calle. Where do you think I was? I was in the calle. Mírale, look at me. I was gangster. You know you like those black socks with those black chucks, right? All right. So my name is Carlos Alberto Ojeda Torres Rivera de Jesus Jr., but you don't got to worry about that. You can call me Chu, because that's what my friends and family call me, and I'm hoping that after this session, vamos a ser familia, we're going to be friends and family, all right? And I was a bit of a knucklehead. I got in trouble all the time, but I drove my parents crazy, but you can imagine I drove my teachers even more crazy. By the time I was in 10th grade, I got in trouble all the time. I had in-school suspension, out-of-school suspension, detention, cualquier lenchin. I was there. Got to the point they want to put me in a special school for special people because you know what? I was special. And I meant that my mom and my dad had to come to school and talk to my teachers. And I didn't want either of them to come because mi mamá and mi papá, they were crazy. My mom was this, I had one of these little evil militant Puerto Rican moms, the little ones that if you don't do what she tells you to do, ella te mata. She kills you. Don't laugh. She had a semi-automatic chancla. ¿Verdad? She was gangster. And my dad was this big, tall, scary-looking dude. And I didn't want them to come to school, but they came to school, and I got in trouble, and they looked at me, and they gave me two options. They said, you can stay in school and live, or you can drop out and die. So I stayed in school, but it wasn't easy. My 10th grade geometry teacher called me the greatest piece of garbage he had ever seen in his life. I was told that I would never amount to anything. I had a teacher tell me that I would either die or drop out, but I would never, ever, ever hold a diploma in this hand. And you know what? I believed her. Because when they tell you a lie enough times, you start to believe it's true. Te crees que eso es lo único, you think that's the only thing that you can be. And parents, I will tell you, you have to make sure that your voice is louder than all those voices. You got to make sure that the kids hear your great versus their hate. You have to continuously do that, and you make those sacrifices, but you got to do it. You got to do a lot of it. You got to tell them that you love them. You got to be there for them, even in moments when they're driving you crazy. Your voice is your power, and you've got to make sure that it's louder. Your great has to be louder than their hate. My mom and dad, they worked every day, long hours. Me, I was getting in trouble, but I did just enough work to get by. Because my parents said I had to stay in school, I stayed. And by 12th grade, I wasn't going anywhere. Until one day, this beautiful girl walked by. And I had a crush on her, so I followed her. And I wanted this girl's number, and I walked in. She went to the guidance office, and I walked into the guidance office, and this lady, she was like standing there. This crazy Puerto Rican lady was standing there looking at me. I didn't care about her. I didn't care about that teacher. I wanted this girl's number. And when I got it and I was about to walk out, this lady just jumped right in front of me and said, "You're going to go to college." And I very respectfully, very politely responded to her. Está loca. Are you crazy? Do you even know who I am? You know what, para colegio? I'm not going to school. She's like, don't worry about that. You're going to go to college. She was crazy, but I didn't know how crazy she was. Everywhere I went, she was there. Everything I was doing, she was watching me. She started calling my mom at home, talking to her in Spanish. She started calling my dad at work during his lunch break, talking to him in English. She started talking about college this and college that, inviting us to go to college fairs. Ella estaba loca. She was crazy. She was stalking me. I had to call the cops. What's the number for 911? Relax, I was going nuts. But then she invited me to come visit her school. And you know what? I went. She was the first teacher to ever treat me with respect. She was the only teacher that cared for me and said things to me that only my family would say to me. She was the only teacher that ever called my mom and dad. It took time to explain to them the things they needed to know. So yeah, I went on this trip. We went 4 hours into the middle of nowhere. I saw more trees than I've ever seen before in my life. I saw rabbits. I saw chipmunk. I saw deer. I thought I was in Bambi Part 2, Puerto Rican in the woods. And the place was beautiful. The college campus was gorgeous. And they took us into a room where they were going to start talking about the university. And I sat in the back. And the lady came in and she saw me in the back. She comes up to me. She's like, you want to go to school here? I go, definitely. And she's like, well, you need to take the SAT. Now, what I didn't know then and I know now, and I want to share with you, is this. I am deaf. I am hearing impaired. I only have 5% of my hearing. I have to wear 4 hearing aids that are connected to each other and connected to my phone so that I can hear. Without them, I can't hear, which is great when your wife is yelling at you. You'll be like, sorry, baby, I got technical difficulties. You're going to have to come back later. But it's not cool when I'm a kid. And everybody wanted to label me a problem, a behavior problem, attitude problem, this problem, that problem, every problem they could come up with except for the one that I had, a hearing problem. I went undiagnosed until I was 23 years old. When they diagnosed me, they told me that I only had 47% of my hearing. That meant that half of my life went unheard, half of my life went unresponded to, half the I love you that my mom said to me, I never even heard. How does that happen? How does someone get to 23 without realizing that they're hearing impaired? It's simple. They labeled me shy. I stopped raising my hands in class because every time I raised my hands in class, I made the teacher repeat herself over and over and over again. It made me feel stupid. I stopped talking to my friends. I stopped talking to my family. I started pulling back. But you know what? The crazy Puerto Rican lady didn't care. She didn't look at my shortcomings. She looked at my potential. That lady looked at me and she's like, you need to take the SAT. I didn't hear the T. All I heard was SA. I was like, I'm not writing no essay. And she's like, you really are dumb, but we're going to fix you. She made me fill out the application for the SATs. She helped me get a waiver so that she could help me pay for it. And when I took that test, I was scared to open the test results. When I got the test result, I thought I failed. I didn't want to open that piece of paper because if I opened it and it said that I was stupid, then it wasn't me acting or pretending to be stupid. It was me being stupid. And I just couldn't deal with that. But la señora, she got the test results at work. So she called my house. And I picked up the phone and she's like, did you get the letter? I go, yes. She's like, well, why didn't you open it? I said, because I don't need a piece of paper to tell me I'm stupid. I got plenty of people telling me that all the time. Señora, I love you. You're awesome. And you fill me up with hope. Pero ¿sabe qué? You're filling me up with hope, but you're setting me up for failure. And she's like, mijo, if you open up the letter, failure is the last thing anyone will ever say about you. So ábrelo, open it. I was like, miss, why do you gotta yell at me? That's not cool. So I opened it. I was told that I was garbage. I was told that I would never amount to anything. I was told that I could either die or drop out, but I would never, ever hold a diploma in this hand. But the first time I took the SATs, when they were based out of 1,600, I scored an 1,100 out of 1,600. I was 500 points away from a perfect score. That meant that I could go to college. That meant that I could get scholarship. That meant que yo no era basura. I wasn't garbage. I was the hopes and dreams of my family. Just like your children are the hopes and dreams of yours. Priceless, irreplaceable. They are everything to us. My mother and father worked every single day, 13, 14-hour days, sacrificing everything for me and my sisters. That's what you do for your child. That's not trash. Eso no es basura. That is everything. Priceless. That lady made me fill out applications to every school. Got my parents involved in it. Explained to them what they needed to know. A month later, the lady came to my house and mi mamá cocinó. She cooked dinner and she left. After dinner was done, she cleared the table and went to the kitchen so that me and the lady could have some privacy. And the lady's like, "Are you ready?" I pulled out all the letters of acceptance because I got accepted to every school I applied to. And she looked at me. She's like, "Where do you want to go to school?" I said, "Miss, I want to go to your school because you believe in me." And she reached into her briefcase, pulled out a piece of paper, and put it on the table. When I read what it said, I started to cry. Full tuition scholarship. On graduation night, I wore a cap and gown. And when they called my name, Carlos Ojeda Jr., I got up on that stage like I owned the place. And when I got closer and closer to the podium where they were giving out the diplomas, I started thinking about that teacher. The one that told me that I would die or drop out, but I would never, ever hold a diploma in this hand. And you know what? She was right. Absolutely right. Because I'm left-handed and I grabbed it with this hand. And the moment I grabbed that diploma, my family was screaming, choo-choo! And I went into the crowd looking for them, and I couldn't find them because it was crowded. And finally, the crowd parted, and I saw something I had never seen before in my life. Mi papá estaba llorando. My dad was crying. And before I could say anything, he gripped me up. Como si no sabía, like he didn't know how to hug somebody. He hurt my neck. And my mom took a picture of it because she said this was the moment that changed our family forever. My dad grabbed me, held me, looked me in my eyes and said, "Tú eres mi hijo, el hijo de Carlos Ojeda. You could be whatever you want to be, go wherever you want to do whatever you want to do as long as you choose to." And then he said one word, "Vete." And that was the moment. That was the moment. Ese fue el momento. My mom and dad always did more for me, sacrificed more, worked more. They were there for me. It was my turn. But there was a problem. I got accepted to the school, and the lady offered me the scholarship, but there is a deposit that you have to submit a couple months before school starts in order to hold your spot, the registration deposit, and I didn't send it because I didn't think I was going to go to school. I didn't think I deserved to go to school, but on Monday morning, I was calling the lady on the phone. I was like, "Miss, please, por favor, tell me I didn't screw this up. Please tell me that I could still go to college." And I was crying on the phone. I said, "Please." And then the lady, she started laughing at me. And I was like, "Yo, miss, you kind of cold." And she's like, "I'm laughing because your father sent the deposit months ago. $200. That was a lot of money for my family. But I was so happy that I didn't care. I was just celebrating. I was so happy. 13 years ago, my father passed away at work, sacrificing for our family. And after my father died, me and my mother started having these ritual lunches where we would get together and I would take her to lunch just so that we can talk. And one day we got to talking about college and how crazy it was when I went. And I asked her, because I remember, I said, "Mommy, where did Daddy get the money? Where Puppy get the money for school? Where did he get it? That was a lot of money." And she started laughing. And she said, "When you were born, your father started una cancilla, a little bank. And he would put, change, any change. And when it filled up, he would take it to his credit union. And he just collected that money because he said, one day, Choo-Choo's going to need this for school." I never knew. I never got to thank him. Nunca le di la gracia. That's what parents do. They do more. They work hard. They strive more. Apoyan more. They hacer more. And that is why in that moment, when my father said, "Vete," I knew what I had to do. I grabbed that scholarship. I became the first person in my family's history to go to college, went to Bloomsburg University, graduated, first person in my family's history to ever graduate from college with honors. Got a job that paid me more per hour than my mom and dad ever got paid combined in their lives. Helped them buy a home. At 23, I went back to school. I got my master's. At 25, I was the youngest and only Latino professor in the history of my university's College of Business. Left there to become a full-time motivational speaker. I started my first business at 25, second at 27, started a third at 30. A couple years ago with my business partner Ernesto, we started Cool Speak, the youth engagement company. We are now a multi-million-dollar company traveling the country, inspiring parents, students, and teachers. And we get to work with amazing organizations like McDonald's, Hacer. We get to share resources and tools for you so that you can do more. So pueden apoyar a sus estudiantes so you can support your students because you make dreams happen. And for that, I thank you. On behalf of McDonald's, on behalf of Cool Speak, on behalf of your children, I thank you for everything you do. I thank you for Hacer More. And we want to give you resources. That scholarship I got changed my life, and it changed my family. I was the first to go to college, but I was not the last. So we want to give you some information. We want to give you information about the scholarship right now. All right? So the scholarship, the Hacer Scholarship, is funded by owner-operators, Latino, Hispanic owner-operators all across the country, providing the money for it. It's $500,000 for 30 students. All right? It started October 5th, meaning you can apply right now. If you have a senior in high school, this is the time to start filling out the application. The deadline is February 3rd, 2021. And you can get all the information. You can apply for it online. It's completely virtual at www.mcdonalds.com/hacer. Now, what's the breakdown? All right, this is the way the money breaks down. There's two $100,000 scholarships, two $50,000, two $25,000, two $20,000, two $10,000, and $25,000 scholarships. All right, so they're spreading the money around. They do a good job. Now, you're probably thinking, my kids won't qualify. You don't know that. They've made this scholarship very inclusive. All right, take a look. The requirements for the scholarship, they got to be a high school senior, a 2.8 GPA, very accessible, very easy, a younger than 21 years of age, a U.S. resident, eligible to attend a 2-year, 4-year college or university or technical school, and at least one parent of Hispanic heritage. Those are the requirements. That's it. That is completely attainable. You and your student, you and your child can make that happen. All right. So I want to give you some other resources. All right. So everything for the McDonald's scholarship, you can find at mcdonalds.com/hacer. Next thing, FAFSA. Right now is the time to start filling out your FAFSA. FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. It's how the university and the federal government provide aid to your student. It goes on a first come, first served basis. So now is the time to start filling out. If you don't know about it and you have a senior, go to that website so you can start getting the information. Ask the counselor for that information, but you have to fill out that application. The sooner you do it, the better. All right, because the universities and the federal government starts giving out that financial aid on a first come, first served basis. So the earlier you apply, the odds are that you'll get the most amount of money that you're eligible for. The Hispanic Scholarship Fund is an amazing scholarship fund with scholarships for Latino students. They have a directory of Latino scholarships from all over the country, and they also have awesome resources and tools for families to help you prepare for this journey. Big Future at collegeboard.org is huge. My son, who is 16 years old, just started using that. Basically, the student fills out a profile, and what it starts doing is starts finding the universities and colleges that are the best fit for the student, helping you kind of solve the question of where should we go and what should we do, give you all the information on the majors. CAPEX is another great resource. You fill out a profile, it's going to get you all the universities that fit, but it's also going to give you all of the colleges, all the scholarships that the student is eligible for. It's a one-stop shop for college preparation, and it's absolutely free. Also, my company and Ernesto's company, CoolSpeak, your company, it is our company. CoolSpeak has a ton of resources on there. Many of the ones that you see here are on our website, but we also find other resources along the way in our travels and in our work. So please feel free to go to our website to get some of that information. Additionally, we have the Thurgood Marshall College Fund and McDonald's Black and Positively Golden Scholarship for our African American brothers and sisters. We also have the McDonald's Appia Scholarship for our Asian and Pacific Islander students. Additionally, we have Archways to Opportunity. If your child already works at McDonald's, there is a plethora of a wealth of opportunities already at their disposal. Archways to Opportunity helps students with everything from getting the GED to ESL, all the way to college tuition assistance. So there are resources there to help your student on their path to success. All right. So those are some of the resources that we wanted to share with you, just so that you can get a sense for it. Natty, I think I gave them a ton of information, a ton of resources. You think these parents are going to be able to take these resources and really have an impact in their child's life? What do you think, Natty?
Chew. Absolutely. You know you got the parents covered. You know how to hashtag I said more. The chat is blowing up. Thank you for that. Thank you for those resources. I took pictures of everything like I always do, and I share it on my social media. Hashtag I said more. Thank you for that incredible story. Now, I said I was going to shout out the young stars, the reasons that we are here, and I got my notes. Thank you for engaging us with the chat. Jorge, Sophia, Xiomara, who I call Panza Dulce, Brittany, Bridget, Diego, Andrew, Drake, and so many others. They are the reason why we are here, because we want our young people to have a brighter future on their path to higher education. Now, having said that, let me put the kids to the side. Marlene, Lupita, Catherine, Nancy, Miss Black Lotus, Sandra, Hector, Sarah, and whoever else is joining us. This is your chance to sign up for the prize giveaways. I don't want you to miss this opportunity. There is no purchase necessary. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to sign up for anything. All you have to do is take your cell phone, hit the QR code right there on your screen. That I said button right there is going to take you to a link. You fill it out. Or if you're old school like me and you need to see like beep, 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 you're going to text I said more to 866-213-5881. At the end of this workshop, somebody is going to win a $500 gift card. That's one grand prize winner and a special exclusive, not this one, honey, not this one, a McDonald's merch bag. Also giving away $25 McDonald's Arch cards. Y'all better sign up. Thank you, parents. We got you, parents. Okay, now, parents are always asked if we can do more. Can we hacer more? I talk to this parent all of the time. I think I have some good ideas, but when I talk to this parent, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to write that down. I think I'm going to try that. Chew, do you have any tips to help these parents engage more with our young stars, our young people, our students, our kids? Can you hacer more? Chew.
Always, Natty. We always can hacer more. Look, you and I talk about it all the time. This pandemic has been rough. Not only do we have to be parents, but we have to be education support for our kids as they learn at home. Gotta get outside our comfort zone. It's stressful, and it can leave us at a loss. And we were talking about it today. I've got three students. I have a 11th grader. All right. I've got a 6th grader, and I have a 1st grader. And I will tell you, as I go through 1st grade with my daughter, because I got to be there with her, going through 1st grade the second time around really stinks. It's hard. So the question that we more often get is, what can we do to support our kids? Well, here are a few tips. Talk with them. Seems simple enough, but it's hard. Take the time to talk to your kids. Not just the how school going, it's going well and move on, but get deep with the kids. Ask them how they're feeling. Ask them how they feel about online learning. Ask them about the difficulties. Ask them how they feel about everything that's going on. I mean, this 2020 has been an unprecedented year, made out so many crazy things have happened. I've had some of the more meaningful and deep conversations with my kids, just asking them how they're feeling because they need our support. They've got no one else. They are secluded. They don't have their friends. Yeah, they can talk to them and chat with them, but it's not the same. And if you want to figure out how you can help your son or daughter, the best way to do it is to talk to them. Take the time, spend the time, and talk with them. Ask them questions. Ask them about their feeling. Ask them about their dreams. Set up regular study schedules. Structure is king. In this house, we have a schedule. I have a schedule. It's the only way that I can make this work. The only way I can survive. I get up at 4 in the morning. I get a little workout in, and then I get some work in. And then by 7 o'clock, I'm ready to get the kids up and get them ready for school. Me and my wife work together on that. Then my wife leaves for work, and then I'm there for my kids. My daughter has special needs, so I have to sit with her and work with her to make sure that she's getting everything that she needs. I'm hearing impaired, she's hearing impaired, but we find our way through. We have a set schedule, a course all over the day, and the kids help out too, right? Do the work at the same time. When it's time for homework, we all do our homework together. When it's time to read, we all read together. One of the greatest things that I've been doing lately is reading with my daughter. Every night before we go to bed, I read to her, and then she reads to me. Now, it's a really tough one, like tonight where it's late and I want to just go straight to bed. I still got to take time, right? Because that's what we do, and the kids are waiting. We have, we read together, we work together. And the next thing is you want to create healthy habits and routines. The only way that this house works is if everybody pitches in. So 40% of everything we do on a day-to-day basis comes from habits. The way we put our clothes on, the way we brush our teeth, the way everything we do is driven by that. So it's during the pandemic, especially during the pandemic, it's been important that you create healthy habits and routines that work again and again. And I tell my kids, you're going to have to do your chores day in and out, no question. Everyone have a role to play for this family to be successful and overcome a pandemic. You've got to work together. Create those healthy habits. Another one is give your children the time they deserve. I spent well over 150 days on the road last year, traveling the country and speaking over the last few years. It works for our family because my kids were born into this life. But when the pandemic hit and I couldn't leave and I had to spend time here with my family, I realized how precious and important it is. So don't give them the time that they're supposed to get. Give them the time that they deserve. Spend time with them. Play a board game with them. Do things that they love. Learn about them. In this time that we have spent, I've learned that what my kids want to be when they grow up. I've learned what they like and dislike. I've learned, why my son likes to eat cookies with water when everyone eats cookies with milk. I've learned all the secrets of life. Spend that time, because eventually this pandemic will pass and we'll go back to living our normal lives, but make sure that part stays, spending time. And the last thing is support their dreams, no matter how big, no matter how crazy, no matter if you sort of disagree with some of those things. My son wants to be a fashion designer and an architect and a doctor. And I said, okay. And I support him, even though that might sound crazy. He said, he wants to be a singer. He can't sing, but I don't care. My other son wanted to play football. I didn't want him to play football. I didn't want him to get hurt. I was worried for him. But you know what? He was dedicated to it. He worked hard for it. So I support him. Support your kids' dreams. Let them be dreamers. Let their imagination run wild. You will be blown away by what you find out. You will be blown away where their imagination and their dreams will take them and take you right along with them. You just have to be patient. You have to be dream makers and help them, support them, and guide them along the way. Do these things, spend that time with your kids, you'll grow closer. And that closeness will allow you to work together to get your students where they need to be. All right? We are always here. You can always reach out to us. Hit us up on a chat. You can hit us up on social media if you have any questions, but you can get through this together. Familia, somos familia. You can call me Chu, right? Natty, what do you think? You think this advice was good advice? You think it's going to help these amazing parents that are on the stream with us today?
Yes, I absolutely do. Absolutely do. And I was looking in the chat and I almost bust out laughing right before you called my name. If you haven't seen it, Chu, I need you to check that chat and see what Hector posted. But he asked, how can we take some of the pressure off of the young people? We're going to talk about that and more in the Q&A just a few minutes after this session. But y'all check Hector's little thing out with about 20. I asked in the chat, like, parents, when you were in high school or higher education and college was embarking or knocking at your door, was it easy? I know it wasn't easy for me. This is why we're here. This is why the Hacer scholarship exists, and this is why it is important to Hacer more. So thank you. We keep saying thank you, and I know it sounds repetitive, but thank you doesn't seem to be enough. Thank you for your sacrifices and just for being the amazing parents that you are. Okay, I'm still looking at that Hector post. Whew. For me, I am a cool speaker. I'm a writer. I'm a poet. I'm an MC, and I do my thing. I'm a mother of 3. But tonight I don't have any kids. Never mind. I have a 26-year-old who has been texting me this whole time. I have a 15-year-old who lives with her mother. She is my bonus daughter. We're a blended family. And y'all pray for me because I have a 7-year-old upstairs that asks for snacks like every 15 minutes. I am always doing something for my kids and the students that I serve. Someone asked me, could I said more? Could I said more? Could I do more? Natty, can you write something? And this is what I did. So this is where I live, parents. Thank you. It's a poem. Imagino lo que podríamos hacer. Means like, imagine what we could do. Imagine reaching higher than ever before. Imagine being the change of generations. Imagine pursuing higher education. Imagine making the world a better place. There are so many of us born on this land and beyond, wondering who we could be if just given an opportunity. We are a proud people, a wonderfully made tapestry. We are the American dream. We come from hard-working hands, sueños and hope seeds carried in our hearts. We rise and represent so many countries, life experiences, cuentos y canciones, backgrounds, new stories to climb. We create, we weave, we were made for this. New wave of change, $1, $2, $3 menu. We are the yellow smile of sunshine, de todos colores, banderas, sin fronteras, en las mañanitas, the dawn of an open door. Somos un tejido de amor, me and you, they and them, all of our children. We stand on the shoulders of giants. We are the soundtracks of dreamers, of our ancestors, of the future. We are making our own way, one story, one golden arch at a time. We are here, now and alive. Thank you, Hacer. 1985, Hispanic American Commitment to Educational Resources. A ver lo que, imagínate, imagine, imagino lo que podríamos hacer juntos, together, pa'lante, forward, nunca detrás. The time is now, parents. The time is now, parents. Thank you for being here. How will you hacer more? I know, like Natty, look, I said more every day. But going forward with these young people, not just who is in your home. You know so many young people. You know other parents. We want you to invite them to the next workshop, which is going to be next week, I believe. Invite other young people. Tell everybody about the Hacer scholarship. This is a call to action, parents. I hope you enjoyed this evening. Don't go anywhere. We got a Q&A session, but now I want you to check your phone. Check your phone, check your phone. See if you got a text. See if you got that $25 Arch card. I just threw my phone on the ground. Okay, now, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll, parents. Who won the $500 grand prize gift card and the merch bag? It is Clarence from Kansas City, Kansas. Clarence, you are grand prize winner. Let me have $5. Wow. Let me see what's going on in this chat. Thank y'all for being here. Don't go anywhere. Chew. Are you ready to get this Q&A thing started? Say, I said.
You know it. I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, Hector, I feel the same way. Straight up, let's throw 2020 in the trash. Not even recycle. I don't care if it's recyclable. It's going in the trash. I'm getting rid of it. 2020 out in the trash. I love the questions, Natty. I love that poem. First of all, much love to you. I love when I hear your poem. I love when you speak about your father. I love. It just gives me goosebumps, honestly. And I'm sure, like, there are people showing you love on the chat. Definitely showing you love. And you know what? Let's give our homegirl, Jessica Montoya right here, who's been representing, doing her thing. All right, she's doing more. She's doing more. And you know what? You get a pound. Here we go. We're gonna get the pound.
Thank you, parents. Thank you, McDonald's. Thank you, McDonald's operators and owners. Thank you, hacertour.com. Thank you, Rafa and Jessica. Thank you, Cool Speak. Thank you, everybody. Now, let me check this chat out. You know I'm nosy. What they talking about in this chat, Chew?
There's some good questions out there. Let's ask that one. I think it was Hector that asked. The question was, how do we take the pressure off of the kids? And that is so important, Hector. I will tell you, my middle child, the pressure of school is great. He literally is anxious, and I walk by on a continuous basis. Some of the teachers make him nervous. He's scared of failing. So I continuously support him and tell him that it's okay, that he's going to make mistakes, that mom and dad have his back, right? Try to be the pressure valve to relieve some of that pressure for them because they put it on themselves, right? And I told them it's okay. We are always your advocate. We are always going to have your back, and we're going to be there. I give them a lot of hugs and a lot of support, and I give them a lot of time. You got to be consistent, not one time, not twice, consistently supporting and telling them it's going to be all right, and having some patience. Patience it's tough to have, right, Natty? We be talking about patience, right? You got a second grader, I got a first grader. Patience is tough, but you got to have patience when you're working with the student. Yeah, and a little bit of chancla always helps. A little bit of chancla goes a long way. But, that's one of the ways that you take the pressure off. Give them the support, give them the confidence, and allow them the space to make mistakes and to tell you when they're freaking out so that you can support them. Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think, Abby? What are some things that they can do to take the pressure off?
Well, I try to ask my daughters, I said, okay, do you want me to put my mama hat on or my homie hat on? And they will say the homie hat. And that's when I know to not give advice, don't interrupt, just stand back and listen to them get their thoughts and feelings out. And then if they ask me for advice, I will give it. But sometimes young people just need to say what's on their mind and they feel so much better. Give them some space because they're going through a whole bunch.
Yeah, that's so much more than we even possibly know. We got another question. Let's see. Oh, someone thinks they just won a gift card, so they're happy. How
Uh-oh.
can we figure out? The question is, how do we figure out how much college is actually going to cost our family? A lot of the resources that we have provide some budget sheets to help parents go through that, but that's a process that you can go with the counselor and by asking the university. When you go to a college fair, you want to ask them, how much is this going to cost? And they'll break it down. They'll tell you what the fees are, give you all of that information so that you can start to get an idea of how much it's going to cost. If you go to community college, it's going to cost less than if you go to a public school in state. If you go to a private school, it's going to be more expensive. But you go and you get that information, you can start making those decisions. The key thing is that you can't get freaked out by the amount of money. All right, it's an
So,
investment. Yes,
right.
Natty.
No, I'm saying there you go. You can't get freaked out by the amount of money. Let me just piggyback off of what you said. A lot of families, students, parents, theos, a lot of families think that college is not for them, it's not attainable, we can't afford it, the family is going through this. But what did you say, Chu? There is so much money out there, so many scholarships, ugh. Just one of the things that I want to say is I don't think it's impossible because it's not.
No, it may be difficult, it may be challenging, but it is far from impossible. There are tons of scholarships out there. There's a ton of support. If you start early, start working for FAFSA, start calling the university, getting the information, and applying for scholarships. We recommend you apply at least 75 scholarships, and that on average may give you one or two. But the amount of time that you spend on that and versus the return on the investment that you get, it's well worth it. I will tell you that scholarship changed my life. I would not. I said it. I was the first, but I am not the last. My niece is about to get her PhD. All right, she's going to be a doctor. My nephew's starting his master's. My wife became a doctor, a medical doctor, the first medical doctor in her family's history. Education is challenging, but if you work together with your counselors, if you work together as a family, you can overcome those obstacles. You can get the information that you need and the resources, and it's worth the investment.
I love Hector. Keep looking at the chat. Hector with the gift.
Hector the meme machine. He's a
I want
GIF
to be.
machine.
You know what? Since we, spilling the tea, I want to be transparent. So I'm a Thea, and I got a whole bunch of nieces and nephews. And it got to be a few months ago that my firstborn nephew, Tariano, shout out to Tariano, was going to college. Or, he did everything he was supposed to do, and they worried about what it was going to cost the family, where's the money going to come from, and he needed a little bit of money to get in the door. Me, with the words, did a GoFundMe, everybody chipped in, and he made it there. Now, here's the thing. Glad he got there. But what I did after that, I sent it to my brother, my sister-in-law, and said, my niece, Asaya, is the next in line. She's a senior right now, and she needs to attend these Hacer workshops. Y'all need to attend. Y'all need to attend these Hacer workshops because knowledge is power, and we can't just keep, let me shut up. We can't keep doing the same things that we used to do. Get the
No, we need to
information.
do more, right?
Say again.
We need to said more. We need to do more.
Yes, we do.
And that's why there are more sessions. So at the end of this session, we're going to put up a list of all the other sessions that are there. We have student session and a couple more parent sessions. And on Saturday, November 21st, we are doing a family session on a Saturday. So we're going to have speakers. We're going to have surprises. We're going to have sessions on how to write scholarship essays, strategies on how families can help each other during the pandemic and help us get through this. All of that free on a Saturday so the family can get together and do. We're going to put that information right after this. I don't think we have any more questions. We're going to ask you to keep posting. I said more, Natty, you had a good time?
Oh, man, I had a great time. I had a great time. Thank you so much, Chu. Thank you, parents. But it's time for me to take these trenzas down and get my tea and watch some, the chat.
Some novela. Time for some novela.
Yes,
Jessica,
it's
You had a good time, Jeff. You had a good time, right? So, on behalf of McDonald's, the McDonald's Hacer Scholarship, on behalf of Cool Speak, on behalf of Natty, Jeff, me, and everyone that's a part of this, we thank you. We hope you enjoyed tonight. This night was for you. We hope you felt it. We hope you got resources. We hope you laugh, maybe a little tear, a good tear. You got great resources, and we thank you for everything you do, all the sacrifices day in and day out for your children. Gracias por hacer more. We truly appreciate it. Have a good night.
Tell somebody else about the workshop.
Better believe it.